Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling Space and to another edition of NXT 2.0 out of 10. It's a big show today because of course it is the last episode of NXT 2.0 before Worlds Collide, and yeah, we got a lot of developments ahead of that one, as well as some of the events that we already had before. So yeah, like I said, it's a big show, and we kicked off with a hype reel for the show before we headed for our first match, which was Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller. Crews took control of the match early on before Waller was being taunted before hitting a sudden suplex. Waller then jabbed Crews in the eye before the latter came back with a splash in the corner of Blockbuster for a near fall. Waller then had Crews on the ropes before trying to drop him, but managed to rush out of the ring instead. Waller then rushed back in through the ropes and got the rolling cutter, picking up the W. And yeah, on the whole, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really good match. Crews did a great job putting him over, and I think Crews still got a lot of offense in, so I don't really think it damaged him. But yeah, big win for Grayson Waller. So on the whole, this is exactly what NXT needs to be. Good start to the show. Backstage, Roderick Strong then claimed he had found footage that exonerates him from having disrupted the tag team match. The Creed brothers did not have it, and even Damon Kemp said that he didn't trust Roddy anymore. Ivanhoe and Tatum Paxley then walked out to them and told them to get things together before NXT moves on, just continuing that tension within Dynamite. Good stuff. And then we got a first of many main roster appearances as Finn Balor rolled up on Bron Breakker backstage and said he'd better win at Worldscollide to uphold his lineage. Balor, who of course is a heel on main roster, wished Bron good luck and told him not to underestimate Tyler Bate, which was very weird. Didn't see where that was coming from. But yeah, intriguing, I'll say. But then it was time for Ivanhoe and Tatum Paxley versus the women's tag champs. Noah and Carter kicked off the match, and the champs had the early advantage. Noah then dropped Carter and tagged Paxley in, who got a near fall before reversing a Hurricane Rana from Chance. We then saw on Titantron that Mandy, alone in the top lounge, and Gigi showed up at ringside, pulling Niall off the apron. The distraction allowed Chance and Carter to get the top rate finisher and pick up the win. And Jack gets a 6 out of 10 from me, just maybe setting up the match later down the line. But no, it turns out it wasn't, because Doudrop and Nikki Ash showed up on NXT and challenged the women's tag team champions. Charles and Carter agreed to the match and shook on it before NXT continued. And Jet did not see this one coming at all, but yeah, it seems like we are going to get some main roster involvement at Worlds Collide. Not opposed to it. Ash and Doudrop, intriguing challenges. Could be a good way to put the champions over. But on the whole, this whole segment, really building storylines around the women's tag team division, which is better than the main roster for the majority of the time, I suppose. So not too bad at all. I'll go for 6 out of 10. Joe Gacy and his boys were then out next on NXT, and Joe was handing out smiley face pins to the dyad. Jabber and Rip then thanked the leader before Gacy called out Grimes to join them once more. Grimes came out and said he had nothing to gain from aligning with the creepy trio. Grimes observed that Grimes was miserable, but the latter had got himself into the situation. He will be the one to get himself out of it. Grimes was when walking out when Gacy mentioned the latter as Seed's father. Grimes rushed back and cleared the dyad from the ring before Gacy hugged him. Grimes was confused, and Gacy got the dyad to stand down and form $1 million champ walked out. And yeah, this is intriguing, potentially teasing an alliance. I don't know, it's still winning life intriguing going, and yeah, for me it definitely is an intriguing storyline. So yeah, this is very interesting, and yeah, on the whole, I thought it was a really good development, so good stuff. Philip Finlay then handed Tyler Bate an iPad backstage, and it Pete Dunne was on a video call hyping the UK champ up for the match. Yeah, but that's a butcher, more of Pete Dunne, not opposed to it. But anyway, Briggs and Jensen and Fallon Henry then took on Lash Legend and Pretty Deadly. Henry and Legend kicked off the match, and the latter was in trouble early on before the match heads out to the ring. The Deadly were then tagged and immediately sent with Legend before the UK champs tossed them outside, taking them all out with Henley. Pretty Deadly then ran a distraction, isolated Briggs in the corner, but he still managed to get the tag to Gents. Gallus then tried to interfere, but was stopped by security. Briggs took everyone down with a splash, but one of Gallus hit Jensen with a belt, and it allowed Prince to get the pin. And yeah, to be honest, this gets a 5 out of 10 for me. It wasn't a bad match or anything. For me, it just didn't really click more than like the tag team match later on. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to have to give this a 5 out of 10, unfortunately. But anyway, Mandy Rose and Shayna Baszler were backstage, and the latter said that she would win on Sunday. Baszler told Mandy that if she didn't secure her NXT Women's Tag Team title, she'd be disappointed in herself. More weird main roster involvement here. Andre Chason took on Charlie Dempsey, who of course is the son of William Regal. Dempsey got an early uppercut before getting a butterfly suplex. Chason got a few moves of his own and hit a stomp before being caught in a crossface. Bodie Hayward then tried to interfere to help Chase, but Dempsey kicked his eye from the apron before going to wipe him out. Chason used distraction to roll at Dempsey as he returned to the ring to pick up the W. And yeah, gets a 7 out of 10 from me this. I thought Charlie Dempsey's first showing was really good, really strong performance. And yeah, he came across as a threat here, and you could see him getting a bit of a push. Chase, good at first playing to put him over as well. I think both competitors gained a lot of this, and exactly what it needs to be, so 7 out of 10. Gunther then found his old mucker Tyler Bate backstage and told him that the future of European wrestling depends on him and his match with Braun Breaker, before it was time for Zoe Stark vs Kiana James. Kiana got an early takedown and an elbow drop before trying for an early pin. James knocked to hold, but Starks got out of it and got a series of kicks. James sent Stark into the corner as she hit the middle turnbuckle, resulting in a near fall. Zoe then got a near fall of his own, but James continued to target Stark's shoulder. Stark then hit a sliding knee for another near fall before getting a super kick, followed by her modified go to sleep for the victory. After the match, James was about to attack Stark, but behind somehow Nikita Lyons let through the ropes and took her down. So yeah, 6 out of 10 from me. I thought the match was okay, basically did its job, and then we got the Nikita Lyons bit afterwards, which will create an intriguing storyline. So yeah, for me this match wasn't anything special or anything, but it did its job really. Davenport was backstage and was next to get a visit from the main roster star, this time it being Rhea Ripley. He gave her a little pep talk ahead of her match before Nathan Fraser was backstage reacting, and the two decided on the best of 3 match to prove who was better. That's going to be a banger. But anyway, next up was Diamond Mine versus Gallus. Julius and Coffey kicked off the match, and the match devolved into free-for-all brawl before we could even get to the break. Back after the break though, Gallus tried to isolate Julius in the corner, but he managed to tag Kempin, who came in and cleared the apron before hitting a big sequence of moves. Strongman walked in and distracted him before he could land a finisher. Gallus used the distraction and the tag before running Kemp for the victory. After the bell, Pretty Deadly and Briggs and Jensen attacked the tag champs before the whole locker room rushed out for an almighty brawl. And yeah, with a 6-man with these teams obviously going head to head on Sunday, I think it worked well as a big preview, really, and yeah, it did its job. Gallus picking up the win. It's a big one for them, really establishing them to the NXT 2.0 crowd. So yeah, they did its job in a very good way. 7 out of 10. Jamful was then in the backstage promo and had some words of advice to Braun Breaker, hyping him up for his match before Hayes was out with his lucky trick and threw a fit about not having a match at Worldscollide. It sounded like he wants the match at first, but then said he wouldn't be defending his title at the show. Ricochet then came out and Melo was shot before they got in each other's faces. Ricochet shut them up and challenged Melo to a match. Melo taunted Ricochet and the latter challenged him and called him irrelevant, but added that a match with him would help put Melo on the map. Melo and Trick attacked, but Ricochet got the better of them before taking him down and posing with the North American title. And yes, what an absolute banger this is going to be. Brilliant way to get to it as well. And I'm just so flipping hyped for this match. Worked perfectly. This Ricochet back in NXT. All of this was just bloody great. On the whole, you just love to see it. And overall, NXT this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a pretty decent episode of NXT this week. There's some questionable parts in there, undoubtedly. But on the whole, some of the booking was really, really good. Main roster stars appearing, I don't know, I found it a bit weird, and we'll have to see where it goes. But if it was just one-off, maybe it was a bit weird. But on the whole episode of NXT, I'd say it's a pretty solid episode we've come to expect recently. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, no thoughts, comments down below, follow us for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to our channel, and I'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.